What's up, everybody? It's Chad, and I am actually in my car right now because I am on the road to March Madness. So taking a little break on my road trip, but I figured since March Madness is in the air, why don't I go on, make a video, and talk about my bracket and some of the sleepers that I have my eye on for this tournament. I'm going to some games on Friday, maybe on Saturday too, so I'll be right there at the heart of some of the action, and really looking forward to it. But let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and get into some of these picks. Now, before I get started, I'm going to just post a picture of my bracket on the screen so you can take a look at what some of my picks are. I'm like 95% sure this is going to be my final bracket, but with COVID, you never know how many things are going to change in the next 24 hours or so. So this is what it is for now, and we'll see how it goes from there. I'm very hit or miss. One year I'll be very accurate in the first round and then it all falls apart, or another year it just doesn't get off the ground running and it's terrible picks. But without further ado, let's get into some of the sleeper teams that I have my eye on in this year's tournament. So number one on the list, I'm looking at Michigan State. So Michigan State and UCLA actually play on Thursday in the play-in game for the 11th seed, and the winner will go on to face BYU in the opening round in Friday and Saturday's games. Now with Michigan State, I think, it's crazy to think that they are a play-in team, but with Tom Izzo being the coach there, they've been a regular in March, a regular in this tournament. And so with Tom Izzo, it's really a matter of experience. And so if they're able to beat UCLA, get into the tournament, I think BYU is pretty vulnerable. They're a good team, but I think, they've had kind of an up and down year. So I think Michigan State, led by Tom Izzo, can really go on a very deep run in the tournament. And really, they've shown that they can beat anyone this year. So, I think even recently to close out the season, they picked up wins of over Illinois, Ohio State, and Michigan. So, with that on your resume, who's to say you can't go and make a deep run? And so I really have a lot of faith in Michigan State if they can pull it off. If UCLA beats them, they can probably beat BYU, but I don't really have too much confidence in UCLA, but we'll see how it goes. The next sleeper I'm looking at is a 12 seed, and that is Winthrop. So Winthrop will take on Villanova in the opening round. Usually I really don't like to bet against Villanova in the tournament every year because, they are always coached very well by Jay Wright, and they have, been to the top of that podium, and they've won a championship a couple times. But this year, they're losing one of their most important players. So Colin Gillespie, who's averaging, I think, let me check, about 14 points a game this year. So really, that's a big loss for Villanova to lose one of your senior leaders. On top of that, Villanova has actually lost both games to close the season without Gillespie. So you add all that into a pretty balanced team with Winthrop that can play both ends. They haven't really played anyone tough. They only have one loss on the year, though. So they've had sustained success. They've been pretty consistent with the people they have faced. So I think Winthrop at least can get a win in the opening round. I'm not sure if they can make a deep tournament run, but if you can overcome Villanova and a great coach in Jay Wright, then definitely you can be that potential Cinderella team. My next sleeper is in the state of Illinois, and that's Loyola Chicago. I was really, liking them coming into the tournament, and once I saw that they made it, but then, just yesterday it was announced that Sister Jean is going to be back in the stadium for the Ramblers. So for Loyola, Sister Jean was there. She was the big story a couple years ago, and they went all the way to the Final Four. How much she had an impact on that, I don't know, but she definitely has a big influence on the team. And so with Sister Jean back, I'm embracing that upset spirit. Loyola as an 8 seed. The first round game won't be an upset because technically they'll be the higher seed. But anything beyond that, the next round, they face Illinois. So we got that state rivalry in the next game right away. And Illinois is a very great team. I actually think they'll go far, and one of the favorites obviously is a 1 seed. But with Loyola, there is that extra thing of battling an in-state rival, having that regional battle. And so, Loyola's been on that spotlight. They've been in the Final Four a couple years ago. So I think they're a very easy pick as a sleeper if people remember Sister Jean a couple years ago, but I'm rolling with them again this year. And I'm not sure if I can quite pick Illinois to beat them, but they have a good chance to make a deep run. On top of that, Loyola has a really good defense. I think they're only allowing about 55 points a game, and that's really what you like to see in March. And again, they are one of those balanced teams that can play both ways, but defense is really where they hang their hat. And with Georgia Tech, it is a tough matchup. They did win the ACC tournament by beating Florida State, but they have been pretty inconsistent all year. So, really, when you look at those inconsistencies, that's where you kind of look to be, pinpointing which teams will be on upset alert. The next sleeper team I have, St. Bonaventure. So the Bonnies, they got Michigan in the first round. I think Michigan is a team that is on high upset alert. I'm not fully confident in their ability to run the table, so I do think they'll get upset at some point. But what better way to get upset than in the second round to St. Bonaventure? They just lost their senior, Isaiah Livers, to an injury, and so he won't be playing. And so this is a prime opportunity for, if they do end up facing St. Bonaventure, assuming they don't get upset first round, and then they, are still missing some key players, I think the Bonnies can really take it to Michigan, and then from there, once you beat the 1 seed, there's no telling how far you can go. So I'd really like the Bonnies this year, and their balanced attack. Like I said, they're built for March, with 5 double-digit scorers on average in points per game. So I really like the Bonnies this year. The next upset pick is really just a wild one that I'm throwing out there that I think they're just going to win in the opening round, and we'll see how it goes. But Oral Roberts, I'm telling you right now, Oral Roberts is a deadly offensive team. They face Ohio State first round. Ohio State is no team to joke at. They're a very good team. They were in the Big Ten. Anytime you're a Big Ten team, you're a tough matchup. But with Oral Roberts, they have the nation's leading scorer in Max Asmus. So point blank, all the scorers in the entire country, he's a leading scorer, top dog in the Summit League and in the nation. But on top of that, I believe Oral Roberts is literally the top team in three-point shooting, and that's another thing you look for in March. You look for three-point shooting. So definitely Max Asmus has Oral Roberts primed for a very shocking upset. And so I'm saying, what the heck? I'm picking Oral Roberts to beat Ohio State, and we'll see how it goes. Especially this year, anything can happen with COVID. You got to get a little crazy with it. And so I'm picking Oral Roberts to beat Ohio State. That's going to do it for this quick video. I'm sitting in my car on the way to Indianapolis. Can't wait to watch some games this weekend in person. It's always been a bucket list thing of mine to go and watch March Madness in person, so I'm very excited for it. And my road trip's just starting, but had to pull over, make a little video, and get something uploaded. So let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know who you think's the sleeper team, if you agree with my picks, if you don't like my picks, whatever. Either way, I'm just so excited that March is here, that March Madness is back after last year. It's my favorite time of the year. I love brackets. I love picking games. I love it so much, and I'm on the road. So if you like this video, give it a like, leave a comment down below, send me a subscribe, and keep up with my videos that I post kind of on and off, and definitely follow me along on my journey. I'll try and get some footage of this trip as well, just to add some more March Madness content, and obviously throughout the rest of the month, definitely gonna be talking about this a lot more. Thanks. Now, a lot of sports going on, and go out and enjoy your sports.